Hey, hi, hello. Welcome to the channel. How's everybody doing this evening? Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful day. Wonderful was it Thursday? Thursday, yeah. I had to look actually twice today to see what day it was. I had no clue this morning. I had no clue. I guess those are the kind of weeks people out, live for. And if you don't know what day it is, because usually you're counting down the days till it's Friday. Over here, we do online shopping and we do YouTube. So every day is a day to work. Every day is a day of work. But welcome in. If you're new to the channel, I'm Tanya or Titanium Built. Welcome into the channel. We do talk true crime here. That's our thing that we do daily. So if that's what you're into, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, all those things that we ask you to do in the beginning of a live. It helps our channels grow, gets us into the algorithm. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it because I have some stuff to show you tonight. I have a lot of stuff actually I want to show you guys. This case is eating my head alive. Like I can't get it out of my head. I've been in here for the last few hours just going down a rabbit hole or a manhole, I guess you could call it, because that's what it feels like. I feel like I'm an expert though in them now. So maybe I am. But let's see who's in here before we get started. And if you guys missed, we did do a members live, and you guys will have to check that out. Welcome in, Cheryl. Hey, Stephanie. Hey, Mike. Welcome in, everybody. Mary Beth, how are you doing tonight? Ladybug, look, Jan's in the house. Panda Ann, oh, the whole crew in here. The whole crew. Welcome in, guys. And then if you're on the other channel, Unfiltered, if you want to come and chat with us, we're over, the full chat is on Titanium Built, but I am streaming to my other page as well. Try and get them watch hours in, I just highlighted myself. Hey, Groovy Nikki, how you doing? Hey, Malicious, welcome in. Your live is tomorrow, right? Elijah Vu. I want to see it. I have my notifications on. She's doing Elijah Vu tomorrow, guys. I can't wait. West Virginia Holly Girl, welcome in. Hey, ALR. Hey, Tammy. Hey, I saw you somewhere. Can't find you now. Kentucky Chris, hey, welcome in. Hey, Wanda Young. Welcome in, everybody. It's good to see you guys. Hey, Aries, where you been? Where you been, Aries Pure? I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. I don't think I saw you last night, did I? Oh, I don't see you, but you know what I mean. You see me. But same thing. I feel like I see you guys, even though it's just a name in your avatar. But welcome in. We're going to go over the case of Caleb Harris tonight. It's a case that we've been covering on this channel since I think March 6th, March 7th, something like that. We started covering it pretty early on. It was a case that wasn't really getting a whole lot of traction in the news. I mean, the parents were in the news, they were doing news interviews, but it didn't seem like it was really picking up too much. Then in June, he went missing in March. In June, that they found a set of remains near or in a waterways way. And it seems like there's just, I don't know, it seems like more people are kind of covering it now. And it's good because we need everybody to be looking at this case because it's weird. Something's going on here. It's weird. I need an explanation, and I'm sure his family wants a little bit more of an explanation than, they just found their son here, because where they found him is so beyond me. And I have news clips and all this stuff to show you guys where they said they searched there multiple times. Then how did he get there? When did he get there? You can't see the chat? Lenore, are you over on Unfiltered? You might be on the other channel. Check and see if you're over there, because it might be on the other one. Because you look like you're coming in dark too. You're usually green, aren't you? I can't remember. I can't remember if you're always green. I think you are. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put up the timeline. Tonight I want to go through, like I said, Caleb Harris's case. I want to piece together what could have maybe happened to him that evening, he went missing. I want to go through the timeline that we made in the beginning of the case. And I want to show you some videos that, show you what police have to say about what's going on. So, Aries, it's your birthday coming up. Birthday in 2 days. Oh, happy birthday, Aries. I'm going to remember that 2 days. I'll be saying it tomorrow too. So let me pull up the timeline here. Let me get myself, maybe I can go above it. There we go. And welcome in again, everybody. Your nephew's birthday is today? Oh, happy birthday to Cheryl's nephew. I don't know if it's Sal Play DM. I just have questions. I just think it's really odd. They are I'll show you a video tonight. If I have to remember. But because I wanted to show it to you. They have a bunch of videos on their Facebook page, and I was looking through them, and I'm like, oh, actually, these are kind of very convenient. But they were talking about the rain and how much rain they got there. It was like 3 feet like of rain, and it could have went down that channel. And like it was a meteorologist, and he was explaining it all. And the way he explained it, I was like, perhaps. But how did he get into the manhole kind of thing to begin with? I'm just going to call it a manhole. That's what it is. See, I don't know if you could even fall in. How would you fall? Tomorrow at 7 p.m. Make sure everybody goes over there. I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna be over there. Celebrate with well, we'll be here. So we'll go over the timeline. This is weird. This is just weird. And we're gonna go through the whole thing. Like we're gonna show you the video of him walking out of the apartment and all that. And then I'm pretty sure on Facebook, I was going through these videos and it sounded like Tony Baloney. And he was at Caleb's apartment and he did like a tour. And I swear it sounded like Tony Baloney. I'll play it for y'all. Because I think it's him. But this is the timeline that we made in the beginning of the case. And so at 12:56 a.m. on Monday, the 4th, March 4th, a doorbell camera at a nearby apartment captures Harris, Caleb, his friend, and one of Caleb's roommates in the parking lot playing with a puppy belonging to Harris and another roommate. Nothing appeared out of the ordinary, and the 3 young men returned to Harris's apartment. Their mutual friend departed shortly after. So they are out with their dog. They come, walking in from their walk, and they were picked up on one of those like Ring doorbell cameras. And I'll show you that actually right now because I had it up. So this is him in the hat. It's going to be Caleb. He's going to wear teal pants, white shirt, just happy as could be.
Take a look here. Caleb can be seen in the parking lot at his off-campus apartment complex off of Ennis Jocelyn. Around 1 a.m., he was with one of his roommates, a friend, outside playing with a dog. Caleb's face visible as he looked toward the Ring camera before they make their way back in the other direction on that night in early March.
So now I need to show you guys the video of Tony Baloney because it makes sense. Because the video shows them going the opposite direction, like where they're like heading that right now. His apartment is the opposite direction. And that's probably why they were getting the dog and then they were walking back the other way. I'll have to find that video for you guys because there's a bunch of them on there. So at 2:20 a.m., the second of Harris's two roommates, informs Harris that the roommate, is going to bed. Caleb Harris replies that he is going to stay up to order snacks via Uber Eats for his school lunch on Monday. At 2:24, Harris shares a Snapchat video with his younger sister showing Harris walking the puppy through what appears to be the apartment complex parking lot. So at this point, he's still, in the apartment complex parking lot. That we know of. And he could have sent that, I guess, and been like walking out of the complex, but I mean, it pinged there. So at 3:03, Harris sent a Snapchat photo to a high school friend in San Antonio showing a small bridge over a drainage ditch on the 1900 block of Ennis Jocelyn within a few hundred feet of the entrance to his apartment complex. And I've shown you that before, it looked eerie with the fog. I should have grabbed that picture, but it looked very eerie, very foggy that evening. At 3:12 a.m., Harris' cell phone last shared location data with the nearest cell phone tower. And at 3:20, the Uber Eats driver delivers Harris's order to his apartment, leaving it outside the front door per the order request. Just, tell how they just leave it. They'll take a picture. They do that here. That's what we have them do here anyway. 11 a.m., one of Harris's roommates discovered the Uber Eats order outside the front door and Harris' pickup truck parked in front of the apartment. So Caleb didn't have his wallet or his keys. They were found in the apartment. He literally just had himself and his cell phone when he left. All of that was missing, all that was missing was him and his cell phone. And I think that's all of it. That is all of it. That was a very short timeline because we didn't have a whole lot to go off of. We still don't. Hey, baby girl. Hey, Tony. I don't know if I said hi to you. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Let me grab my drink really quick. Where to go? Okay. And I was like, where did I put my drink? My little fridge broke. Remember that little fridge I had? It was like, I think it was red. I had like two. I had a red one and I had a teal one and then a red one. But yeah, it stopped working. I was so sad. I was so sad when that happened. I need to get a new one. I just haven't went to get one yet. They're very convenient if you're in here streaming for hours or something and you want a drink. So Caleb Harris's friend did a TikTok. Her name is Ellie. And I figured we'd watch it. It was on the Facebook, like the family Facebook site. It's Missing Talk. It's called Missing Talk of Caleb Harris. It's a private group. I got in it like when he first went missing. So a lot of this stuff, I'm pretty sure that the family is like the ones that put it on like line and like are admins of the group. Because I remember Randy Harris saying something about them having that tip line, like or them having that Facebook page. So yeah. But they were saying for the longest time that Caleb, or they're still saying it. They checked that, that area and he wasn't there. Now I'm wondering if that manhole cover maybe was on at the time. I'm just saying if there is something weird, in Ferris, I don't know, but I'm just saying if it was on, but I don't know why someone would take it off. And then there is a video on here. We watched it before. One of them we didn't watch. And the girl is saying, is that him? And they are looking down a drain. Like it looks like the one that they found him in. I don't know why they posted that. I don't know who approved it, but we're going to watch it. It's very weird, to say the least. Hey, Mr. Rosebud. You read the reports? Really, Melmac? Maybe. I mean, they could have been. They were smiling awfully hard. Has anyone? I mean, did he look intoxicated? I don't think he did. But I mean, when we looked at him, but he did kind of. I think he swayed a little when he walked. Like when he was walking. Let me see if we can go back. I think he did sway a little. I think I noticed it like when he was walking by the car. I think that when they're walking up, so like maybe right before this.
So take a look here.
Right there, yeah. Right there was where it was. Like let me go back a little bit more. Oops. Okay, let's listen to it.
Take a look
right there. Like right in the beginning.
Can be
See it?
in the parking lot at his off-campus apartment.
Bring some of his last
Caleb can be seen.
Go back. Sorry.
A Ring camera capturing some of his last movements before his mysterious disappearance.
So take a look here.
Right there.
Caleb can be seen in the parking lot at his off-campus apartment complex.
He could have just been like, I don't want to hit the car. I don't know. Like, but still, I mean, it's weird. It's eerie. So this is one of his friends, I guess. They grew up together. They've known each other since middle school, and she put together a timeline right outside of the cottages, and she's going to walk us through like the whole timeline, like where he was and all of that. This is from March 27th. So this is way before they found the remains. So as of right now, he is literally across the street from her. It's eerie. Like, it makes you think about cases like Sebastian's. It really does. Like, okay, is Sebastian closer to home than we think? Because look at this case. I mean, literally, he's right across the street. You don't get much closer than that. Oh, so his friends were behind him. The people that were behind him, they were his roommates, his buddies. So I'll play this. And thank you guys all for being here. It's like 3 minutes long. We'll listen to Ellie. She's cute. I feel bad for her.
I'm Ellie. A friend of mine, Caleb Harris, has gone missing, and I wanted to bring to your attention some details about the night he was last seen. I've known Caleb since we were in middle school. We attended middle school and high school together, and we're both students here at Texas A&M University, Corpus Christi. Today, the Harris family posted a $25,000 reward for information that helps lead to the return of Caleb. I'm here at the cottages, and I want to walk you through the timeline that outlines the details of when Caleb was last seen. The night of March 3rd, Caleb was here at the cottages hanging out with his roommates and a friend. At 2:45, Caleb sent a Snapchat of him walking his dog. When he brought the dog back, it's confirmed that the dog did come back to the apartment. I'm going to show you here where Caleb's phone pinged at 2:58. So let's take a look at the drainage ditch. I know a lot of people have been asking questions about it.
So this is where he took that picture and he sent it to his buddy that lives in San Antonio. And his dad, I don't know if it was Randy or Becky, his mom or dad, one of them said that it was an inside joke that they had together but they never told us what the joke was. They never told us what like the Snapchat said. Like, even though we probably don't get it, I'd want to know. I just want to know what it said, you know? Like, what was the inside joke? Would I get it?
So as you can see down there is very, very shallow water. There's not, enough water to really drown in there. Typically, we've had more rain this week, but when he disappeared, it was drier, but still pretty soggy and muddy. It's hard to walk in. Once you start walking through that mud, you sink. As you can see, it'd be pretty hard to walk through this ditch, but it is entirely possible that he could have crossed Ennis Jocelyn to the other side of the ditch and walked along it, as that ditch, the drainage ditch, runs several miles in that direction.
That's weird. That's where they found that. That's where they found that boy. That's where they. I mean, did we not? We needed to follow Ellie. Ellie knew what something. She knew what was up. What if he did do that? Do you think he would walk under the tunnel like that with no shoes? Because that's a different way to get there. I mean, instead of walking through that cornfield, right? Because there's that big cornfield on the other side, and those corn stalks would hurt walking barefoot. He could have tried to go under the tunnel. Yeah, Ellie knows what's up. She doesn't even realize it.
5 minutes after Caleb's location last pinged here, right here on Ennis Jocelyn,
it made me think
he sent a Snapchat to a friend. It's not known whether he sent that snap immediately. He could have been walking while typing the caption before it was sent, but it was received by the friend and not opened until a few days later. That Snapchat was received at 3:03 a.m. Just wanted to clarify that the ditch that we have over here goes through Ennis Jocelyn onto the other side and goes for several miles down to Rodfield Road. I want to point out behind me those barricades. Those are where the drainage ditch ends to the drainage ditch that runs parallel to the cottage apartments. It runs straight down about 0.8 of a mile. According to the authorities, Caleb's phone last pinged at 3:12 a.m. within 50 feet of this dumpster. This dumpster is located at a pain management center near the intersection of Rodfield Road. Now I want to take you to where Caleb was last spotted that night, just a few minutes down the road. This street right here is called Holly, and behind me is what at the time when Caleb disappeared was a homeless encampment.
I guess Tony did a video on this on Facebook, and he confirmed that he talked to this homeless person. Now I don't know.
When searchers were out looking for Caleb, they were approached by a homeless man living in the encampment at the time, who said that he saw Caleb that night after 3 a.m. He recognized Caleb from the photos and also mentioned that he was barefoot. The mention of him being barefoot coincides with the information.
I know that there was a guy that came forward in the beginning and was like, yeah, I saw him with his dog, but it was he was trying to place him all the way down at the other side of the road. We did a Google Maps tour of that. And I was like, there's no way. What would he be doing down here? I don't know. It was weird. So this might be where she's getting that.
Confirmed from the roommates.
The Ellie's been pretty spot on. And then this is kind of low, so I won't play that part. But his family was offering, I think, $50,000 for his return, or answers, I guess, or the return. Let me see. Offered for information that leads to the safe return. Well, man, he's such a handsome young boy, young man. I mean, man, so young. It's just, that's crazy. Let's see, where do I want to go next? So, as we know now, the human remains that were found at the Corpus Christi water treatment plant, they were found in one of the manholes there. And they confirmed that they were, in fact, Caleb Harris's. I'll put my desk down a little bit. Sorry. They confirmed that yesterday. So his family has answers, but they probably have more questions now than answers. They probably have way more. I would have way more questions. I have a lot of questions. But they said that they've been, the officers were like, we've looked over there multiple times. We searched that area, blah, blah. Well, apparently you didn't search it hard enough or something. I don't know. How do you miss a whole person? I mean, he's not a small guy. He's not like, real small guy. It's just crazy. I don't get it. But we'll listen to this guy tell us, how much they've been searching over there.
And to clarify, this whole location was.
Let's go back a little.
Here's what police had to say.
It like froze.
And to clarify, this whole location was searched days after the initial report. So all this whole area has been searched many times over. And volunteers, specialized K9 units, shooting in Paris.
Well.
Now, CCPD did tell Free News that medical examiners are on site and will need to assess the scene. And the remains before an identity can be confirmed. And of course, we'll make sure to give you the latest both on air and online.
Okay, so I had to look it up because I forgot. But he was 5'11", 180. I thought he was 5'10", but 5'11", 180. That's a pretty solid kid. Young man, I keep wanting to call him a kid. But he was literally across the street this whole time. I don't think that he was, I don't know. Do you guys think he was put there later? Unless they searched that spot like second, third, fourth day, and then they maybe dipped him in there, like, put him in there on like the 7th or 8th day or something. Do you know what I mean? Like right after it was searched, because they said that the remains were very they were decayed, like, or decomposed. I was trying to think of the word. Very, very, so much so that it took like a couple weeks for them to even identify him. Like, so I'm assuming they didn't have dental records, because dental records, you can get those same, the next day. You go to the dentist's office. His mom could have called and been like, hey, I need those dental records. But they didn't. I don't think they had this. I don't know what they had. I don't know. What Lady Bugs say? What'd you guys say? Could have been placed there, maybe, Tony said. After searches, maybe, yeah. That's crazy. He could have been, like, maybe, whoever did, maybe if someone did do this, like, maybe they put him in, like, right after they searched that area because they knew. But I know that we had a lady, like, we did a live, and I had seen a post on Facebook on the Caleb Harris page, and it was a lady. She was going out with her German Shepherd. Now, I don't know if this is the lady that found him or if it was a worker. They're saying it was a worker at the water waste plant. But I know this woman was out there looking in the same area like months before, like in April. She posted these videos onto Facebook. And it's in the Caleb Harris, like in their personal, Facebook page. So I'm like, makes you think, makes you want to think. So we'll have to go over that. I'll show you some of those. Some of them are like weird. They're like upside down, but I don't think she knows how to work a camera. But that's okay. That's okay. This came out not too long ago. We'll watch this and see what they have to say. This is one of the local news stations. And also the chief has come out and said something. So we'll see what he has to say. Thank you guys for being here too. I appreciate it.
But we do start tonight with breaking news as forensic scientists in Corpus Christi police have determined the human remains found inside of a wastewater station just last month are in fact those of Caleb Harris, the missing college student from New Braunfels. A discovery was made on June the 24th.
Now, does anybody know? I don't think you can. Like, if you were in the tunnel, like underneath that, in that where that water is, you couldn't get swept away, right? And get stuck into one of those manholes like that, right? That wouldn't happen. Because that's the only other thing I'm thinking of is like he somehow was in that water. I don't know why he would be down there, but because there wasn't that much water at the time, actually. Never mind. There wasn't that much water. Remember, it was like a dryer. So it wouldn't have swept him up right away. Never mind. Scratch that. I love talking things out with you guys. See, I just talked out with myself. Look at that. Of course, he had dental records. Squeaky said, yeah, his water doesn't dissolve teeth. I wonder if, I don't know. I mean, because that's your teeth. That's usually like, like the last thing, you know what I mean? Like your teeth are very, very hard and very strong, usually. Mine are anyway.
Remains having to be analyzed by DNA after the medical examiner's office couldn't make a positive ID. Harris disappeared from his apartment back on March the 4th. Police in Corpus Christi, the Coast Guard, and many other agencies working in search and recovery efforts since his disappearance. The investigation
right
in this
across
case,
the
however,
street
remains ongoing.
In a statement from Caleb's father, Randy Harris, the family says, quote,
We have heavy hearts this evening as we learn of the positive identification of our sweet Caleb. We will grieve our son, but we are at peace knowing he's with our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Our only hope is in Jesus. If you don't know our Savior, please talk to me. I love talking about Jesus. Thank you for your prayers and support during this tragic time.
Also have the latest out of Corpus Christi. Police are now working to identify human remains found near the apartment of a missing New Braunfels college student, Caleb Harris. News 4's Tawny Davis now live with more on what police know and a timeline of these events. Tawny, good morning.
Good morning. Harris's dad tells us that there's no confirmation those remains are those of his son. He says it could be a while before investigators have an answer. Now, Harris hasn't been seen since March 4th.
This was 8 hours ago. Oh, this is the previous,
near where he went to school at Texas A&M. He was hanging out with some friends, and when everyone else was going to bed, he stayed up going to order food. He eventually left his apartment without his shoes, wallet, or his keys. And Caleb did have his phone with him, but it was later turned off. For months, family and friends have had search parties and posted flyers and billboards across the state. Now, there's also a $50,000 reward for any information that could lead to his return. Now, this morning, we are waiting for more from the medical examiner's office. And once we get those answers, we will update you on air and online. Reporting live from the broadcast center, I'm Tawny Davis. Back to you.
Where is Caleb Harris? The 21-year-old Corpus
sad.
Christi student from New Braunfels has now been missing for more
Hey,
than 2
Cat's
months.
Eye.
Rarely
Hey,
do people
Solo.
vanish without a trace, but in this case, police say that's exactly what happened. For the first time tonight, News 4 San Antonio's Mandy Noel talked with the Corpus Christi Police Department, and she had lots of questions for them.
Going to school, going through all the
Oh, wow.
motions is definitely very difficult to just keep going.
I mean, I'm just gonna say his sister. I pray for her. I mean, they seem like they were very close. They seem like they were very close.
I mean, he is my best friend. So
Oh
it
man.
has been hard.
Hard, yet Caleb Harris's family is a force of faith.
Mm.
Their lives paused on March 4th.
Well, it's like everybody is moving
sad.
forward. And so when we feel like we're kind of still
Oh,
and
Becky.
we haven't been able to move forward as much.
When Caleb disappeared around 3 a.m. outside his apartment in Corpus Christi.
It's the most unusual missing person case that I've been involved in my career. And I think most of the detectives that are working on it would agree.
Corpus Christi Assistant Police Chief Todd Green says a
We're gonna hear from him
disappearance
tonight.
often traces back to one of a few underlying factors: drug use, a history of disappearing or running away, or mental illness already existing or triggered by a recent trauma.
You know, he just disappeared kind
We
of
have any of
into
those.
the fog. None of the typical underlying factors that we usually find are applied to this case.
His keys and wallet found by his roommates the next morning on the kitchen counter.
It's just taking a long time, and we
What would
all
make
felt
you
like
do
we would
that?
have him back by now.
Back in New Braunfels.
Like, what would make you walk in that direction at all? I mean, there's a cornfield and then there's muddy water. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing appealing. I mean, unless there was some rug use that night. I mean, that would make some sense. But how did the wastewater do that to his body? Can that even happen? I have so many questions.
Braunfels packed up and home for the summer with his parents, Randy and Becky, and his sister, Andy,
This is
who
so
turned
weird.
17 in the weeks after her brother's disappearance.
He definitely would have been down for my birthday. And going into senior year will be hard without him.
Another milestone missed.
He takes me everywhere. I know all of his friends. I have like a lot of brothers.
Caleb is supposed to start a summer job in Alaska. For now, everything is on hold.
We understand the public's frustration that we're not putting out more information.
Green says he knows people think CCPD haven't been active. That's not the case. They've conducted widespread searches and collected dozens of surveillance videos. They've sent out bloodhounds to try to catch his scent, dispatched divers to muck through waterways, and drones to search overhead.
After that first week, it kind of evolved into digital data evidence.
The only thing he left his apartment with March 4th
was his cell phone. It hasn't been found. Police do have his computer and iPad.
When we're dealing with these providers, cell phone providers, social media, websites, and whatever, we have to issue search warrants or subpoenas. And once we do that, it takes time, days to weeks for that information to come back.
CCPD.
So everything would have been synced up to his MacBook if he had a MacBook, and his iPad. Like if he had Apple Watch, which I thought he did, and then his phone.
Is working with the U.S. Marshals, the FBI, Texas Rangers, meeting virtually several times a week.
We just wrote 15 additional search warrants here within the last 2 days.
Online, the Harrises and Green see rampant speculation.
We are real people. This is actually happening to us. It's not an episode of Tracker. People that are speculating and are spreading rumors, they're making it harder for the police to get a direction as what to do.
Are we still investigating this as a missing persons case?
Well, it is a missing persons case, but we certainly believe there's the possibility of some foul play involved.
How great of a possibility?
The more evidence that we gathered tends to show that he left, probably voluntarily, but didn't return.
Now, there are rumors of witnesses spotting Harris, and we also asked the assistant chief about that, but he says the department believes no credible witness has reported having seen Caleb on that early March 4th morning. If you have any information on Caleb's disappearance or for the tip line and more information, head to news4sa.com.
So he literally walked out the door, never to be seen again. Just bye. I mean, until now. I mean, until what? 4 months later. Well, I mean, I'm gonna have to look into that more. The wastewater, because to me, it seems like it would do that to like a body that fast, but I don't know. I've been reading up on them, and there's like they go through like systems or like stages, I guess, like through like the process of cleaning and cleansing, or like, you know what I mean, sanitizing the water and the chemicals that go into it and all the other stuff that goes into, like, you know, the way that it like runs through. I don't know. I've just been reading a lot today. I've been reading so much. My brain feels fogged about water treatment centers. I've been reading so much. Now, if you don't know what it is, let me find a picture. Here's one, but this is on the road, but that's okay. Wait. Give me this one. So the one that he was found in, like, is off the road, like in this like brushy area. It looks like tumbleweeds or whatever. Like they're all, I don't know what they're called, but they're just like weeds all around there. But they're that color. And I'll show you too. But this is a picture of what they look like a manhole, you know, something like that. Now, to me, if you fall in there, if you fall in and you're good, I don't know how deep this thing was, but there would be steps right there. There would be a ladder for you to go up. So it's not like he got down there and he was stuck. Like, I mean, unless both of his arms were broke, you know what I mean? Like, it would have to be serious injuries for him to be stuck down there. Like, you know, I mean, unless that's really what happened, he hit that hole at just the right spot. But how did he get there? You know, it's crazy to me. And I think I have more video too to show you. Let's look, before we listen to the chief, I'm going to show you this video this lady took. I think it was this one. Okay. I think she's loud. It says, "Is this dog alerting to this covered manhole in the field across from Caleb Harris's complex?" And this was June 25th. This was the day before they found the remains over there. It says, "Uploaded April 17th by the lady with a German Shepherd."
That one doesn't have anything
It's
on
loud, sorry.
Okay.
I can turn it down a little bit.
They didn't search this area the sewers all the way because I discovered this well. See, there's the cottages.
He's going to show us.
No manhole. Easily fell in there.
Now, I don't know if that's the one or not, but that's what they're saying, like something like that. Now, I don't know how you would fit in there. Personally, I don't know. It looks kind of small to me. Let me go back. Right here. Like that looks kind of small. You would have to be like penciled up and down for you to fit. Like your shoulders. I don't know if your shoulders would fit.
No, man.
They'd have to, I guess, but
Easily fell in there.
unless they don't go down some of them.
And then this one hasn't even gotten uncovered. See, they didn't look in here. You know?
You can't hear it because of the wind, but that's like a cover for the manhole. Like, so that's just a cover there that she's brushing away, brushing that stuff away from, like whatever this stuff is, weeds, hay, I don't know.
They didn't look this one either, because I just uncovered it. Yeah, but how was
Now she's supposed to be. Now she's supposed to be across the street from Caleb Harris's apartment.
Saying, like maybe he could be stuck in the sewer. Maybe he fell in that one, and he shimmied his way through the tunnel or something down to this one, and he's stuck in here.
I don't really believe what she's
hit his
saying,
head
but
falling down.
you know,
And he's stuck in
we'll listen
there.
to her a little bit. But
Right, maybe he fell. That's why he couldn't cry for help. I mean, they obviously did not search this area because I just uncovered them, and it's right by the cottages.
Like she shows you the
Very
houses.
well, could be barefoot walking distance. I mean,
but who would do that?
he was barefoot, right? So
I guess right there's
maybe
greenery.
he saw the anomaly that I
But
saw
it's
on
still-
Google Maps.
It's still cornfield right there. Like what? I mean, I just don't see someone sober doing that. You know, I mean, like someone with their wits about them. Why would you walk down the road? Sorry, stop at the bridge, take a picture of the foggy bridge, turn around, walk back towards your house, and then just go right, straight. You know what I mean? Like beelined it. Like I don't get it.
Because I saw this place on Google Maps and I wondered what it was. So that's why I decided to come out here and check it out. And then I discovered these 3 manholes.
So they're just like the random manholes out in the middle of this field.
The ground is relatively soft.
Like I've never seen manholes out in the middle of like nowhere like that. I've only seen manholes like on the road. I don't even know if I've ever seen them really off of the road. Maybe it's a dirt road, but it's always something leading to it. Thank you, Search Patrol.
You know, I don't see no stickers.
Yeah, I was about to say it's just getting
I
greenery now.
Here without no shoes.
The corn.
But there's a lot of Flintstones here in Corpus Christi.
That's crazy.
He's from New Brownsville. They don't wear shoes either. I don't know. I don't know.
But yeah, you can see like the manholes there. I mean, cute doggy. I don't know. That's insanity to me. I just don't see him doing that, you know? But that dog really was over there. And there was another video she did. Oops. I was looking at all these little videos. I think it was this one, maybe. No, this is a guy.
You would take this road, right?
She had one on here. It was like this one right here.
That might be him, Mom.
She says it might be him, but I don't see anything. But this is one of the manholes. So you can see it's been made with bricks, and I've heard of that. Like they're laid with bricks, brick by brick, because they're made by man. I don't know. That's what I read on the internet, because they're made by men. Like they're like physically made. They're not like naturally made, I guess, dwellings. They're man-made. So that's why I guess they said that. But they lay it brick by brick. You can see the bricks, and you can see the steps right there. So if you were stuck down here, don't you think you climb your way up? I mean, if you're an able-bodied person, I mean, a man anyway. What do you guys think? Well, thank you, Carolina, for becoming a new member. Thank you. Welcome aboard. Mhm. Yeah, they all have ladders. That's what I mean. Like, why couldn't he get out? They all have ladders so that people can go down there, check things if they need to. I would not want to go down there. They must get paid a lot. Oh, I was watching this before I came on. Let me rewind it back. So Chief Todd Green, he talks about Caleb Harris and the findings that they found. And this was like 4 hours ago. So this just came out tonight. We'll watch this and see what he has to say about these remains being found over there, right across the street from Caleb's home. I mean, I don't get it. I'm still trying to comprehend it. Like the only thing I could think of if this was something that like was on his own, he would have had to have been like on something, right? Like to want to walk through a cornfield, like in the middle of the night. You would, I mean, if he was on some psychedelic or something, it might have looked like completely different to him. But that's the only thing I can really come up with. Other than it being like foul play, I don't see him just falling in the manhole. I mean, I'll have to look into it more and see what the percentages of people, what it is for, you to like fall into a manhole, because it doesn't look very big. And I know that they make them circular, so it's easier for them to take off the lid. And that way the lid doesn't fall down into the actual well as well. I've been learning today. Hey, Mystic, welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. If I missed you. So we're going to listen to Chief Todd Green. He's going to talk about Caleb Harris and them finding his remains. And this just came out. Like 4 hours ago. So good night, Jan. Thank you so much. Sleep well. Sleep good.
With the preliminary autopsy showing no obvious signs of homicide, and since the DNA report has come back with most likely match, is this case over?
No, it's not over. It's still an open investigation on our part. At this point, we're waiting for the remains to be returned to the medical examiner and for him to issue his final autopsy report.
At one point in the investigation, y'all were looking at whether or not foul play may have been involved. Is that still the case?
We have not been able to prove one way or the other whether foul play was involved, but we have exhausted a tremendous amount of investigative effort and time. We followed up on a tremendous amount of leads in the area, and our investigation at this point is pretty close to being concluded as far as that goes.
There were, and I'm looking over, investigators executed over 50 digital search warrants, analyzed over 1,500 gigabyte of data. Has that information been processed, and has that pointed to anything?
It has been processed. It did lead us to different individuals that we identified that were in that area at roughly that time of that evening. So what we had early on, we mentioned that we went out shortly after he went missing, and we scoured the area looking for surveillance video. Unfortunately, because it was so foggy that night, a lot of the video was very poor quality. We did notice several vehicles moving through the area, moving up and down Ennis Jocelyn in the immediate area.
It's a busy road. I mean, that's what that was a busy road to look like.
But because the video was,
and that's what I thought too. That's the other thing. I thought maybe someone hit him, and then that person maybe tossed him down the well. If they knew those wells were there, maybe if they were local, but they didn't find any debris of a vehicle. Like if there was an impact, I'm sure that they looked. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm sure they looked up along the roadways to see if there was any like debris from a vehicle being, hit, like, hitting a person.
So poor we couldn't,
unless there just nothing came off the car.
Get license plates off the vehicles. In most cases, it was really hard to determine a make and a model, other than maybe a blue 4-door or white 2-door, that was, or a pickup truck. But that's where all the effort and the time and the investigation went in as far as the digital search warrants. So what we did is our investigators began issuing search warrants for cell tower data, all the cell towers in the area. We did gosh, I can't think of the name of it now. Anyway, we did cell tower dumps. We used that information to identify what we believed were the drivers of these vehicles moving.
I'm just going to stop him real quick. I was looking it up. I couldn't find the autopsy report yet, but I can send for that for you. If they'll give it to me, which it looks like they will, because they're giving it to the news reporters. So, but it says here that the medical examiner was unable to identify the remains nor provide a manner or cause of death due to the advanced state of decomposition. But officers say they bore no obvious signs of homicide. The remains were then sent to UNTCHI. Wow. Can you imagine going to that place? I work or I go to school at UNTCHI for DNA analysis along with DNA samples from Harris's parents. Oh man. So that's how they ended up getting his DNA. Or like, linking it to him, his parents.
Through the area. We did identify
So they
them
must have
and
extracted
we
it.
interviewed them, and we were at the point when the remains were found in the lift station. We had pretty much gotten to the end of that investigation, and we had it hadn't bore the fruit that we thought it would. Our initial suspicion was that Caleb got in a vehicle with somebody and left the area, and that was kind of what we were acting on. That was our where we were going with the investigation. But once we got all that information back, we identified these individuals that were in the area. We went out, our investigators interviewed them, and we were, based on the investigation, we were able to determine that they had no connection to Caleb. We went through went through his digital data, through his laptop, through his social media. We even were able to clone his phone as well. We never did
Oh yeah, they
find his
did.
cell phone, but what our
They cloned the phone, remember? Oopsie, sorry.
investigators did, our forensic computer people who did a tremendous job, they basically cloned his phone, which is something that was quite unusual. And still, they were unable to establish any connection between Caleb and any of the people that had gone through that area at that time, at that night.
Of course, we were talking earlier, but the big question is how did Caleb end up at the wastewater lift station? And that's a question that we might not ever know.
We want to know.
That's certainly a possibility. It's we don't know for beyond any doubt of how that happened or what actually happened to him. We haven't been able to find any evidence that clearly suggests that he was met with foul play, that there was a homicide involved. Because of the state of the remains, it was difficult to. We couldn't even make the medical examiner here couldn't make an identification and had to send it off to the University of North Texas.
That's what I want to know. Why are we sending off? I mean, why is this body like not all together? Why is it in parts? Why is it in pieces? Why is it so decomposed? Is it because it's been 4 months, or is it because like the chemicals maybe they put in there? I got to figure this out. Like I've been reading all about the waste stations today. I don't know how I don't know it, but I don't know that for sure. I know that, but like I told you, I know they go to different stages. So like it goes through different like processes, I guess you could say. I should have like grabbed an article to read for you guys.
For DNA
I'm gonna read
analysis.
up on it really quick.
But what has been learned was there's no obvious signs of trauma to what remains are available. There's no gunshot wounds. There's no obvious knife wounds or hatchet wounds or anything like that that would tell us, yes, he was murdered. At the same time, there's nothing, because there wasn't enough of the remains there, we can't say beyond a doubt that he wasn't murdered.
If this was...
Well, maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. That sucks. I mean, I hope we get more answers than that.
Sorry about that. If this was somehow an accident, is there still an investigation that goes into how it happened or how it ended, or how he ended up there at the lift station, or if it's determined to be an accident somehow?
Well, and like I said, we're continuing. The investigation's not over, but at this point, we don't have any clear evidence of exactly how he ended up in that lift station. We do, we can say that it is a very secure facility there. There's a chain link fence around the facility. It's locked with a padlock. For you to get into that facility, you have to pass through that gate. Once you get into that, inside the gate, there's another lock on the building, and the actual
How do those people get back there then?
wet well
That's weird. I wonder if those people, like, if that's, that it's credible, that Facebook video. But I mean, that's the family's Facebook page, so I don't know why it wouldn't be. Like, I mean, they are like the admins for that. But if he's saying that this water waste plant is locked behind, it's locked behind a padlock, everybody, it's locked up. You got to get through those like gates to get there. Then how did they get back there? Unless they just walked with their dogs.
Where the remains were found is covered with a steel grate that also has a padlock on it. So it wouldn't be easy.
Hold on a second. He said that where the remains were found had a steel grate and a lock on it.
Easy for a wet well. Where the remains were found is covered with a steel grate that also has a padlock on it. So it would.
He said where the remains are found, they have a padlock and it's steel grate on it. How did he get in there then? What? Am I hearing this right? Yeah. Dreamcatcher, how could he get through that? That's weird. I'm like, sometimes I think I hear things, because I definitely can see things on my own, with being blind. But we're going to go back 5 seconds.
Found actual wet well. Where the remains were found is covered with a steel grate that also has a padlock on it. So it wouldn't be easy for anybody to intentionally dispose of the remains in that manner.
You were talking about how the investigation.
So intentionally, it doesn't seem like that's what. No, this isn't right.
What are the next steps?
Right now, the number one step is to wait and see what the medical examiner rules. He hasn't made a final ruling yet. We met with him earlier today and kind of shared everything that we have learned, all our information, and we'll wait to see what he rules on this. The manner of death and the cause of death.
This was one of those investigations, whether you knew Caleb or not. People were invested, and people were impacted by what happened because it's, I think, mostly because we don't know what happened to Caleb. And so, what is your message, of course, to the countless number of people who helped with the searches that happened?
Who works at the water waste plant?
For his family.
Like, I would want a roster of their names. Randy, we need you on it. You know what I mean? He seems like he would get stuff done, but we need a roster with the people's name. I mean, okay, you're talking about he was in the manhole with maybe, I don't know, maybe the lid was on it too. At this point, hell, because I was going off of Miss Facebook. I kind of was going off Miss Facebook person, like she was looking, she had the picture of the cottages, you know what I mean? It was lining up, but how'd she get back there now that I'm thinking about? Like all these things, this guy's saying that this place was locked down. Maybe it wasn't as locked down as he's saying it is. Maybe it is now. Just like there is a Ring doorbell camera like on their apartment now. They didn't have it when Caleb was there, but they have it now.
You
know what I mean? Just things that you don't think of, but you think of after.
Our number one, our hearts and thoughts and prayers go out to the family. This is not, very tragic ending to it. It's not the ending that we had hoped for. Certainly it wasn't the ending the family hoped for. So they're an incredible family. Mr. Harris and his family are incredibly strong, have a very strong faith. And I think that shone through from the very beginning. But as far as the volunteers, I've never seen anything like it. Like I said, it really makes me proud of the community that I serve, that we have that type of community, that people are willing to go out there and walk through the heavy brush and the mud and the drainage ditches and all over, the people that searched, the people that made donations, food and drinks for the searchers, the people that prayed, the people that had prayer vigils. Just, it's an incredible reflection on our community. And then, of course, the college, the volunteers out there, and then, of course, Mr. and Mrs. Harris's community up in New Braunfels. It's just, it's sad to see what happened, but if there's any anything positive that comes out of it is just the fact how many people, like you said, were very invested in it. People that really, I'm sure, are taking it very hard, the outcome, you know, beyond the family. And hopefully they'll be able to support the family and continue that as the days go by.
I believe you answered all my questions there.
Mhm.
Has the family, I know there's probably been some communication with the family.
Mhm.
Have they asked for the investigation to continue? You know, when it's your loved one, I'm sure they want to see more.
Sure.
You know, results or more. You know, it's hard to accept a conclusion.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it still is an open investigation, so we haven't closed it. We meet with Mr. Harris pretty much on a weekly basis. He comes by and we share with him as much as we can. Now that we're at the point we're able to share more with him. You know, what we have done. Certainly, yeah. They want finality. So.
This guy's not very good at public speaking.
That's all I have for you. Is there anything else that you feel is important to get out? You know, since we're here, and anything else that the public needs to be aware of?
You know, this came up early on. We talked about it. You know, there's people that say, well, there's a huge number of missing people around here, and that, you know, that there's a chance. You know, people like to throw the word serial killer around and things like that. We've looked at it. The other cases early on, we immediately looked at all the other open missing person cases that we had, and pretty quickly we determined there's no connection. There's no real commonality. Each one of them had some very unique circumstances involved, and Caleb's disappearance was totally different than most of the missing person cases that we work. Like I said, generally there, you know, a lot of times people have a history of disappearing, or they have a history of mental illness or drug abuse, or a combination of, and those people, you know, it's not surprising when they turn up missing. You know, with Caleb, it was extremely rare. So I guess the message is, yeah, we don't have there's nothing that we're connecting this one to. And like I said, at this point,
I'm going to show you guys something really quick. Let me show you where he lives. Okay, this is where Caleb lives, back here. And this is where he was found, back here, you know, in the cornfield. Who puts manholes in the cornfield? To me, that's sketchy. But I mean, that could be because it's like sewer lines, and maybe it's different down in Texas like that. I don't know, because of them being by the Oso Bay and then right by like the Gulf, maybe they have them like this, you know, just out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, that's like the middle. I mean, to me, I'd be like, that's in the middle of nowhere. I mean, why are you putting a manhole here? But what would make him walk that way? Like he was walking, you know, in this direction towards the bus. Let's say then he must have obviously turned around and started walking home. But instead of going home, he beelined it over here. Oops, sorry. Don't want to get you dizzy. To the cornfield. Makes no sense. This was March too, so it would have looked like that. You know? I don't know. It's very weird. It's a weird case.
There's nothing that definitively says that it was.
Like, it was already weird. And I feel like it got weirder. Now that we found the body, it's like it was right there. Now, how would I just need to know how he got there. We need answers.
A foul play.
We need answers, sir.
A couple more questions.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate this. When police searched, were there any manhole covers or manholes in the nearby fields that did not have their covers on?
So when we initially conducted the initial search, the day within the immediate days following the search, we searched that entire area around the apartment complex, all those open fields, all around in the brush, all the way out to the Oso Preserve, up and down. There was no report of any missing manhole covers or missing manholes in that area. Our investigators, or the search team, actually opened all the drainage manhole covers all the way from SPID on Ennis Jocelyn, all the way from SPID back to Holly. They did not open the sewage manholes.
So they did the
But
waterways.
like I said, in the initial couple of days following,
Because there's waterways for water and then sewage for sewage. I've been learning today.
there's no reports. Nobody reported a missing manhole or open manhole cover or anything like that. On April 17th, we got a tip through, and I don't know if it came in through
That was the
Crime
lady, I
Stoppers
think,
or the
April
tip
18th.
line. We got a tip that a woman had been out there in that field that had been searched very thoroughly, the field right across from the apartment complex.
Maybe that lady was,
and had found an open manhole.
maybe she opened it.
Our investigators went out there the following day on April 18th, and they did find that there was a open manhole cover. It wasn't just the cover; it actually the entire top of the manhole had been knocked off.
Okay, so when they search, grates on, everything is locked down there. They, they look and everything, nothing there. Then April 18th comes, month later, a little over a month later, and this lady's out there with her dog, and now there's an open manhole cover. Now, do we believe that she opened the manhole cover? Or do we believe the officer here that they searched? Now, that's a hard one. I'm going to go with the officer though. I'm going to go with that they searched that. I'm going to be confident that they searched there. I mean, maybe they didn't search in the manholes. I'm not going to give them that much, but I feel like they searched that area. And if they would have saw a manhole cover off, they would have looked. Do you know what I mean? At least looked and like glanced down. They didn't search the sewer manholes. No. I don't know. This is a crazy case.
They looked into the manhole, which is about 18 feet deep.
18 feet deep.
At the time, it was
You
somewhat full of water. So they reached out to the wastewater department,
who
happened to be in the area, fortunately for us. But they reached out to some wastewater workers, and they had them go over to the lift station at Perry Place, and they actually activated the pump over there, which brought down the level of the water in that manhole. So the investigators searched it the best they could at that time and didn't see anything. They also went to the lift station itself and looked in that wet well to see if they could see anything, and they didn't observe anything at that time. So that was April 18th.
Do y'all think Tropical Storm Alberto had any role?
So is that where he was found?
Of course, the discovery of the remains.
That is a possibility. And I'm not an expert in.
I didn't hear the question. Hold on.
Tropical Storm Alberto had any role in, of course, the discovery of the remains.
That is a possibility. And I'm not an expert in wastewater management, but what they told us though is, even though it's wastewater, this is the sewage system. Even though that's what it's designed for, they did say that when we have really, really heavy rains, rainwater will infiltrate into the system. So there is a certain amount of rainwater that will get into the system and increase the flow above and beyond what the normal flow would be. So that is a possibility that because of those rains, and we had some heavy rains, Tropical Storm Alberto, the weekend before the body was found, there is that possibility. We don't know for a fact, we don't know for certain, but that is something that they said could be a possibility.
Last question for you. When was the last time you were able to speak with the Harris family? You said you've been in contact or in touch. And then do they still believe this was a homicide?
Well, that's a question you'd have to ask them. The last time I spoke to Mr. Harris is we met with him on Friday. And that's the last time I've spoken to him directly.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
For answering those questions. It helps, of course, shed some light on a lot of that. So.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder who told them then that was their son. He didn't go and tell them. He's the head of the police, chief police. He should be there. He should have been on their doorstep. I'm here to confirm it's your son. You know, I mean, I'm just saying. There's procedures. There's way to do things, sir. You know what I mean? But this is crazy. I don't know. This case is. We're gonna be talking about this like for a minute because I can't get over it. Now, the rainwater thing, I found that video, so we can look over that. This meteorologist came on and he did say that, he explains that, like, the rainwater could have somehow had, a play in this, so that he somehow like could take the body down. I don't know, but I don't know where the body would have entered in and why. Where and why, and how did it get to its final destination? Like, was it in the manhole? Like, was the remains a certain way, like laying a certain way? Are they sitting a certain way? Were they propped up? Or, I know that they were like separated. Were they separated by feet, inches? What are we talking about here? I want to know like all that kind of stuff. I want to know like everything. These cases are crazy lately. Funky Jasunky, you said it. You said it. One after the other. And we've been covering this since March like 3rd. March 4th. I think it was March 6th, because that's when his dad was on News Nation. I don't even know why they got Tony. I don't know why they even had Tony as a spokesperson. Becky and Randy were doing good all by themselves. They had News Nation. They were on Fox News. They were on where else were I saw on News Nation a lot, it seems like. But they were floating around. Like, they made their rounds, and they were able to get on all these stations by themselves. And then they bring Tony in. It's like, why are you why'd you just spoil no one wanted to follow after he came in, because no one believed anything he said. Because it's Tony. We don't believe him. We don't believe him around here. But let's go through this video. This is the one that said that it could have been from the rainwater. Maybe it'll make sense if we watch it. I don't know. I still think it's something's funky about this case. And I want some answers. I think we all do. And hopefully the final autopsy will tell a better story of what happened to him. I think if he would have fell in and hit his head, or broken arm or arms or legs or something where he couldn't get himself out, I would think that would show up in the autopsy, even the preliminary autopsy, like a crack to the skull or bruising. I don't know. I don't know what kind of remains they had, but or like you would see like a broken bone. I don't know. They're saying that there was nothing that appeared to be like from a homicide. So no like hacking, no bullet holes, no, like nothing like that.
Free news, but Chief Markle.
Now, I wonder if his highway, but I'm assuming that was in place, and that usually will break if you like are choking somebody. So I don't know.
Did elaborate about the site where the discovery was made.
So weird.
It had been searched. That lift station had been searched. Those drains had been searched. All of that had been checkboxed. But, after heavy rains and those kind of things, we sometimes find more, and that may be what happened here.
And that recent heavy rain by way of Tropical Storm Alberto,
which, as we saw last week, flooded and inundated several areas, thanks also to that storm surge. Want to bring in Chief Meteorologist Alan Holt now with more on that.
Yeah, you heard Chief Markle talking about the heavy rains in some of the areas that did experience flooding, but from the Gulf of Mexico, we saw a 3 to 3.5 foot surge inundate.
Does anybody live in this area in the chat? Or does anybody live near the beach, or the ocean, where you would have these inlets and all of this water and then extra rainwater? I'm just wondering how much more watery, how much more wet it is there. Do you know what I mean? Like, compared to, I'm in Ohio, so we're pretty dry up here.
A lot of the area, including Corpus Christi Bay, the Lexington area had one of the higher surges around. So taking a closer look at the Bay Area, that 3 to 3.5 foot surge did encompass a lot of Corpus Christi Bay. And off of Corpus Christi Bay is the Oso Bay area. There was some surge in this part of our viewing area as well. And the part that's somewhat interesting to me in terms of how this is all playing out is that there's a little inlet here between two apartment complexes off of SPID. And this area is susceptible to have rises with inundation when it's happening in the Corpus Christi Bay area. So is it plausible that something washed into this part here and then all the way into the Lexington Road area? That's Lexington, that's Ennis Jocelyn. Is it plausible that something happened where it pushed something in there? Yes, I'd say so, because that's one of the lower lying areas in, you know, the Corpus Christi Bay area. So these red colors show 4 to 6 feet of inundation, and that's the spot right there, the Oso Creek area where we're looking. So I'm not saying, you know, I'm just saying could have come in from the Gulf, the Oso Bay, Oso Creek area, could have been the rain influence. There's a lot of parts here, but that definitely caught my eye when I was putting pieces together. 3.5 feet pushing water into that part of the Oso Creek. Leslie, Rudy?
Yeah, and that observation insight, certainly very helpful. Alan,
Very
thank
much
you.
so.
I mean, I think his name Alan. Alan, you make sense, Alan, but I don't know how that works. Like I'm in Ohio. We're so dry up here. But Squeaky, are you there? Are you near there? You live right next to the ocean, Tennessee, only 600 miles from here. Oh, lucky. Vincent actually lived in LA, right outside of LA. So I don't know how long it is to the beach. It doesn't seem like it takes us that long to get there. An hour, less than an hour, 30 minutes, 20 minutes. Hell, it could be 10 minutes down the road. I don't know, but it doesn't take that long. I could ask him. Maybe he would know. But he probably said, "Oh, I don't know." Because I'm wondering, like, if it's brings in all that extra rainwater, you know what I mean? It seems like it would be like, yeah, sandy and soft ground. That's what Search Patrol said. Like it would be like soggy a little bit more than like other places. Like you know, the inlets. I'm kind of thinking of like, for some reason, I'm trying to think of what it's called. I can't think of the name of it. Gilgo Beach. For some reason, I'm thinking of like Gilgo Beach. Like, you know, like they have those inlet, like the inlet there, and it has like the water and it's all marshy and mucky. That's what I think of. Like, yeah, like a creek and stuff, like just like mucky water just in places. So maybe, I don't know. But if you fell into that little, like, if he fell in, you could have fallen in that little waterway. There was nothing there to like, you know, drown. And then they would have found him. So it's like, where was he all that time? He had to have been there in some form or fashion, and they just didn't see him. Like, and those cops are going to have to admit it or something, because he's a grown boy. Like, this is a grown man. I mean, he is like 5'11", 180 pounds. He's a solid dude. That's a, you know, pretty solid guy. I would think that you wouldn't miss him. Now, I feel like we need to go back to Sebastian Rogers' case, and we need to go back and look for him again. 5 mile radius, we just need to research that again. We just need to research. Is that what you said? Yeah. So the lady, so I guess the lady was wrong. The cops were saying, like, I don't know. She might have, like, I think he was insinuating maybe she took the lid off of, I don't know. Now, I don't know if she did or not, but I am going to keep my eye on this case. I'm going to try to FOIA the autopsy report. I don't need pictures or nothing. I just want the report. Report, please. And then I also tried to FOIA, I think I told you guys this, Madalena Kojikari's, and they said it was still open investigation. So I'm going to give it a few more weeks. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to ask for it again. And then next time I'm not going to be as nice. I'm going to say, you just need to tell me, because this is not an open investigation. So they did find one open during the search, but I think that the officer is saying like that one was open on April 18th, and that's the day that she like recorded it, or the day after or something. And like, so they're saying that maybe she had opened it. Now, I don't know, you know, I mean, she could have, that woman could have and said, hey, I'm going to pretend like, but then how would she know he was going to be found in one? That's weird. That doesn't make any sense, does it? Because how did she know he was going to be found in one if she didn't see something? This case is weird. It's like my brain is like going all different directions. Let me see. I wanted to see the Facebook group, see if there's anything on there. Let me go over there. Missing. Oh, they got like, oh, that's so sad. Let me show you guys this. This is so good. I don't know who did this. Oh, edits by Lucinda. Oh, that's so sad. That's so nice that people do that, though. You know what I mean? Like, people commented, 275 people liked it. It says anonymous member. Now it's time to find out who did this. This person, gravity, drunken, high, stumbling through a dark field in the middle of a foggy night, falling into an open manhole. But why would he walk through why would you walk through there barefoot? You would never see me walking through a cornfield ever. I lived in the country. I've seen a lot of cornfields in my day. And I've never wanted to walk through one. Not even a corn maze, like not even a maze. I don't even want one of those. I'm cool. That doesn't, looks like that would hurt. And I would trip over stuff. I didn't get into that case. I need to look into that Jace later. Is it kimchi? Kimchi? I'm probably saying it wrong, but let me know. Everyone always spells their name out for me. Even like Squeaky Wheel did. He's like, Squeaky Wheel. Tanya, Wheel. Oh, really? I thought they were kind of like, manhole covers were just kind of like, like one person could take it off. Oh, so you need you need more, they look heavy. I didn't know how much they weighed though. I was about to go out and look for one today. I forgot to though. I was going to go look for like a manhole. Cause I'm sure there's some probably right near me. Oh, wow. That's a lot. Yeah. No, that's a lot of weight. I didn't realize that I have it. You guys know how much they weigh. Wow. I didn't look into that part. Wikipedia didn't tell me how much they weighed. I read all this stuff. I was reading all kinds of stuff today on them. But I didn't read that. Wow. What was this? Is this new? Oh, they're doing a candlelight vigil on Saturday in Corpus Christi. Someone mentioned Cole Park by the water. I can create an event online for everyone to share. Maybe someone can volunteer for one in NB area as well for family to attend if they choose to. Saturday at 7. Oh. That's crazy. Oh. I was reading the comments. Okay. Let me see if there's anything else on here. Am I sharing? Okay. I don't know if I was sharing this page with you. I have been blocked by Nicole. If so, why? You can't post if you're blocked. Oh, Lordy. Did someone tell her if you're posting, you're not blocked? It says, are you admin? I'm not sure why it has been removed. She said she was blocked. Now she's not. Oh, my Lord. Like, come on. There's a serious case at hand, Rosalind Barboza. His phone was never found, but it was cloned. Yeah, we knew that. Oh, I should have lit a candle. I have one behind me too. I used to light candles all the time. It says so sad. I went to a store today and saw one of Kayla's missing flyers. Told cashier, they found him. You could take it down now. I don't know if I don't know if I'd be able to say it. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if I'd be able to tell him like take it down. I don't think I could. I'm one of those people that I can't throw away. Like I can't do like stuff like that. When I worked as a server and I would always get like these pamphlets for going to like just praising Jesus and stuff like that, just praise the Lord and pamphlets. Like, they leave you, like that's what they leave you on Sundays. And I could never like get rid of them. I always had a collection of them. I was like, I can't throw these away, because like, I was like, Jesus will get me. Most of the covers are also hooked and you need a metal key to raise them. That's what they were saying, Karen. They were saying that, that there was a grate on it, like, and it was locked. So how'd you fit in there, Caleb? There's so many questions. Like the officer gave me more questions than answers. He told us that. So weird. No phone, no wallet, no keys, and no teeth. Yeah. I want to know where the teeth are. What? Because normally your teeth are hard to come out. Like I've had teeth removed. Oh my. I had one that was removed. It was 60. It was like up in my top back. They were all in my back, and like my top back, right? I was after my accident. It took them like 45 minutes to an hour to get it. I mean, it took forever, and it was 60% gone. It was after my car accident, and I was like, get this thing out. So I mean, I just don't know. Unless the whole jaw was gone. But if they have the jaw and they have the skull part and they don't have teeth, then that's weird. We need to know that. That really is weird. So Caleb's toxicology, it wasn't released. Actually, they didn't say anything about a DM. It should have been, they should have done a prelim. I mean, they probably had the prelim and it was probably maybe negative, but I don't know. They should have said something. They didn't say anything. Jesus will get me. Yes. I had that call this morning. I couldn't hang up. I had 2 Jehovah's Witnesses. They were boys. They just are in our neighborhood. They go to the mall, I think, and stuff. And I had my dogs, and they're big, crazy dogs. I have crazy girls, and they're like barking. And this guy, they're like kind of barking at him, and I'm like pulling them back. And this guy was like, "Do you want to talk about going to church on Sunday?" And I was like, "No, thank you." And he's like, "Okay." And he just kept riding by. He was not going to stop and pressure me. My dogs would have, I think the dogs scared him, but I thought it was pretty funny. I do my stuff in my own time. See, I don't know if what they had are with. I'm not sure what they have. I haven't heard exactly what parts of him they located, but it could be. Now I know that you can take it from like your hip. You can take like DNA. You get DNA from like your hip. Your kneecap is a good spot, I guess. I think your femur. I'm trying to think of like what bones. I know that there's like certain bones. So the lock is in a hole that the key fits into. Oh, really? Oh. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's nothing down there to eat. How does it, like, what chemicals are we putting in the sewer? Like, I mean, really, what are we putting in these sewers? Like, seriously, my best friend, she lived across the street from a sewer, like drainage company. I guess that's what you would call it. Oh man, it smelled like shit over there all the time. It always stunk at her house. I was like, I don't want to go over there. Come to my house. But like, it was like a sewage plant, but I never really looked at it to really know how they work. Yeah, Squeaky, well, you're right. I wonder what the chemicals are. I'm going to look into that. I'm going to look into the chemicals and see what breaks this stuff down, because I know there's like a process to it. So I'll look into that and I'll let you guys know, because it's weird. It's really weird. Does anybody have any questions over this case? I mean, I know we have a ton. I have a ton. I have a ton of questions. I'm going to try to get some answers though. I'm going to try to do the FOIA, which, I mean, grab a pen. I have my pens over here, like on the wall. So they're out of the way. If you're wondering why I was scooting back, that's why. Okay, so FOIA, and I'll put Caleb. Because I haven't seen any reports online, so I can probably just like FOIA that, and then they'll give me the preliminary, unless it's still considered active investigation and they want to keep it. But I don't see them doing that if it looks like the news agencies have gotten them, unless they're all just basing it off of what that officer said. So they could be. Oh, search patrol, you're right. Yeah. You think they broke it? They knew they would break them down, like the chemicals would break down. I mean, how did you get him in there if you didn't unlock the grate and take the lid off? He can't slide on in there. He's not like slime or something. You just slither in. Like, he's a grown man. I mean, 5'11", 180. That's pretty good size. Like, big, like taller, bigger than Vincent. I'm trying to think of like Vincent falling down one of those. I don't see it happening. Like the shoulder, I don't know. Like, I feel like if you'd have to be like penciled in like this to fit in there. Like if you're just walking and you tumble, you're going to break your ankle or something. Your foot might get in there. You might break your leg, I feel like, but I don't feel like you'd fall all the way in. And if you did fall in, he said it was 18 feet deep. So I mean, that's a pretty good fall. That is a pretty good fall, but that's you're able to recover. I mean, you could survive that fall, especially if you're falling into water. And that's what he said was down there. He said there was a lot of water. They had to close off the lines in order to, get the water to stop flowing through so they could collect the remains. So, oh, did he? In the beginning, he said he was in a position that wasn't normal. He was folded. See, that's just, I don't know how that would work. I fall a lot. I feel like I'm an expert in falling. And I don't know. I mean, but I would be looking right in front of me if I was walking in a cornfield. But who does that? Who walks up in a cornfield? Who has manholes in a cornfield? Like, that to me is really strange. To me, if I was a conspirator, I would be running with this. I would be saying, those people that own that land, they've got those manholes and they built those manholes for a reason. And what's under there, that's what I would say. But I don't think that's what it is. I don't think that the people that own the land probably had anything to do with it. But I wonder if somebody did, maybe hit him. It was very foggy that night. Maybe it was a vehicle that hit him to where it didn't put any damage on the car. Like, maybe it was a big vehicle. I know, like a semi or something. Did you hear that? What the? Did you hear? That was my dog. Mia, I'll be out in a minute. She said it is time for her cookie. She wants a cookie. She's ready for a treat. She just tried to run in here and her nose hit the door. That's so funny. I'm sorry, Mia. Poor dog. But I think that's all I have for you guys for tonight. Let me see if there's anything else up here. So he basically just walked across the street. I don't get it. Like, he walks out of his apartment complex and he goes to the right. He walks down. We don't even know why he's walking at 3 a.m. barefoot anyway. Why in fog? We don't know. But something takes him out there, away from his roommates, away from his Uber Eats, okay? Away from all of his stuff that he needed to do the next day. I mean, if I need to do something the next day, I'm ADHD. I'm like focused, hyper-focused. But him, on the other hand, he's like out taking Snapchat videos in the parking lot, and then he's walking. He's like, I'm going to take a Snapchat, send this to my buddy, inside joke, ha ha, funny, funny. And then what does he do? He says, oh, okay, I'm going to turn around and go home barefoot. And then all of a sudden he takes a right and he's like, I'm going to go through the cornfield. And then he ends up in a manhole. I mean, it's what? What exactly is going on here? Really? I'm going to have to look at that. People stuck in manholes. I'm going to look. I'm just going to put, so I don't forget. Sometimes, like, after lives, I'll just like get up, because the dogs and stuff. So the phone, I mean, well, the water could have taken the phone somewhere, he most likely. That's my dog. Something scared her. And I know what it was. I'm sorry. I'm laughing so hard. I'm crying. If you touch her backside, my dog is crazy right now. Sorry, that was her. If you touch her backside, like her nubby, her little tail or anything like that, she gets scared. It freaks her out. So I think what she was doing was turning around in the hallway and she hit the table with her nubby, her little tail, and it scared her. So that was her wiping out. Oh, she's crying. I'm coming, Mia. Okay, well, this is my time to go. She wants me. She's cute. I'm gonna have to go out there and see what she wants. She wants a cookie. She'll be fine. But thank you guys all for coming tonight. I appreciate it. Mia said, goodbye to everybody. But I hope you guys have a great week. I hope you have a good, tomorrow's Friday already. Look at that. Hopefully you have a great Friday. Hopefully it goes really fast if you have to be at work. And if you're off work, take care of yourself, hang out. That's what I told the pharmacist today. I talked to him. He's like, I'm off tomorrow. My foot hurts. I'm not doing any pharmaceutical stuff except for some Tylenol. And I was like, you have a great one tomorrow. I'm like, me and him, I didn't know if we were going to get along at first. If you take prescriptions, like you got to have a good pharmacist, and he's awesome. So I was like, look at that. Talking to the pharmacist at the Target. I feel like I'm so local now. But thank you guys all for being here. I do appreciate it. I'm going to keep up on this case and figure out what, try to get us some answers to some of our questions that we have. And we're still following, other cases on the channel as well. So we'll cover something probably new tomorrow night, but maybe if there's more answers for Caleb, we'll cover it. But I will be back tomorrow night around 9:15, 9:35. So make sure you have your notifications on and all that good stuff. I might come back tomorrow. You never know during the day. I've been popping in on those days sometimes. But if I don't, I'll see you tomorrow night. Bye, guys. Have a wonderful day or evening.